My Gavan Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Attica Galadurthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the same as we continue on as Enedwaith with episode number 2. No intro this time, I'm afraid, for those of you that maybe were hoping that that continues throughout the series. I'm afraid to say that it won't. But I will continue to read various aspects of Enedwaith's backstories, particularly the clan moot buildings as we claim them. I will read through those. I know that we've already got 2 that I have not read, but we will read through those. If you missed the last episode, we've allied with Isengard so as to secure our eastern border, which is a bit childish, I suppose, but once we have the strength to attack Dunland, Isengard will almost certainly side with them, so war will come. But before then, long before then, we hope to claim most of the lands of Enedwaith for our own, so that we're in a position of strength when the time comes to attack.
Yes, my lord.
Isengard and their would-be allies in Dunland. But for the time being, in the meantime, we're hoping to obtain trade rights with various nations around us so as to grow in wealth and economy. So we've got Rohan on side, which also gives us some money now, thankfully. We've got Isengard on side, we've got Dunland on side. I believe I've spoken to Bree. Did we speak to Bree? No, we have not spoken to Bree. We may have done, actually. Yes, we did speak to Bree. Haha, fantastic. And Gondor. What of Gondor? No, we've not spoken with Gondor, so that's our next bet, is to head down here and speak to them.
Without question.
So send our diplomat. Oh, and finding out that Derweth has fallen to Isengard as well is always nice to find out. Otherwise, our main army, led by Melmodoc, who just joined us with Fowlan warriors, and the Falks, which comes from Dacia Ithracia, or Dace and Thrace. No, I'm sure some people probably call it Dacia, but I imagine it's probably pronounced Dacia. Anyway, they come from the Balkans, this weapon, and they are a nice little armor-piercing unit that we've got. Although, no, that was what I was going to talk about. They aren't armor-piercing, though many people said that they should be because historically that weapon was armor-piercing, but they're not going to be for balance reasons. Something else, the Mohaini, Lord of Links very helpfully provided a little bit of a clearance comment on some of the points that I got wrong in the last episode, essentially. Oh, Dunland won an alliance. No.
Very well.
First of all, the Mochaini is the only non-Gaelic word in Enedwaith's new naming convention. From what I can gather, it's just a word that sounds like it is. Tauta and Ambakstoi are Greek, not Latin. But then, of course... Well, no, yeah, they are Greek, not Latin. Even though Latin builds heavily upon Greek, they are actually Greek words. So that it was incorrect. But otherwise, I think that was about it for the things that I got wrong in the last one. How we approach Barad Vin. But before we do, let's take a read of the clan, the Fowlan clan, here in Herald. Although the 7 clans of Enedwaith may rule in unison from the clan moot at Alkfud, aided by the guidance of the Dove Sheath, each clan has their own clan seat elsewhere that is their ancestral home and centre of power. This region holds one such clan seat. I believe that's the same for everyone. I should stop reading that bit. This clan seat is the ancestral home of the Fowlan clan. Like the Failani, they are a fairly young clan, arising from men of Dunland who abandoned their lands following Wulf's savage consolidation of power that forged the clans of Dunland into a more united host. Disagreeing with this, and wishing to preserve their heritage, the Fowlan turned coat and pledged their loyalty to the moot instead. They keep many of the old traditions of Dunland alive, being fierce tattooed warriors and strong drinkers, and hold the strong keep of Herald. Like the Mochaini, they are settled and survive through raids upon Dunland, and are the generosity of other clans that donate supplies in exchange for the Fowlan's efforts in defending Enedwaith from the east. Their name is apt, for it means wolf, and the Fowlan are wolves who prowl among the lands of their former kin. Their emblem is a sword upon a hill, representing their skill with the blade and their keep of Herald. Once secured, this clan seat can muster the Fowlan. And indeed we can. We've already got border guards ready, and Melmodoc, as we've said, has already got the elite Fowlan unit as his bodyguard. No, diplomat has fallen foul of the transition. One change since the last episode to this one. Oh, I didn't copy across the UIs. Oh, no, I did. I did that immediately after the episode. We can double check that. There's something else that I've copied across. I mentioned in the last one that any unit that had a shield, it would be good if their shield had an icon or an emblem representing their clan upon it.
Yes.
Hummingbird watched the last episode and agreed, and so he then knocked together some emblems for various nations, and I've copied those across to this game, so they will be present in this game. And I think it has worked. Badadvin, what's your defense? You don't have any non-Enedwaith units.
Yes.
I'm sure I did copy across the UI cards from the last one.
We shall prevail.
Guys, I'm sure I did it immediately after the video ended. Londangren very happily has built a carpenter's hut, and the first thing we really do want to get here when we can is the port up and running. The port and the roads are the best bit. We make a reasonable amount of money now, which is nice. And, oh, look, you can see one of the new... because this is a castle, not a keep, which is the middle tier of castles. And that is the new CSM for the Wildmen. I can turn off the UI, it helps a little bit. And I can even screen lock, which turns all that one off as well. So that's a new keep there, which is quite nice indeed. But I think the town is the nice one for me, the large town here. I really like that shape. And it stands out then as being unique in that it's not circular. And I'm on board with that. I like that a lot. Diplomat, I moved you, didn't I? Yes. So we will siege at Badadvin. We don't have very many troops left. That's probably why we're making all this money. Border guards, you will move to Melmadoc and support his incursion into that northern land. Similarly, border guards down here will do the same. There will be rebels dotted around here somewhere. We don't have complete immunity roaming the lands of Enedwaith. There will be traitorous scum hiding amongst the forests that have grown since the great deforestation. For a brief time period of events, we hark on and hark on and hark on about the great forest that resided in Enedwaith, and we talk about it all the time. This is currently 2983 of the Third Age. The Great Forest was destroyed roughly between the years 800 to about 1300, I believe, of the Second Age, which means that the Great Forest has not now blessed this land with its presence for near on 2,900 or 3,900, about 4,500-ish years. Just completely going off the top of my head when I'm trying not to take too long. So it is not in anyone's living memory. It was a very long time ago. The elves are the only people in Middle-earth who would still remember that there was a great forest here. No one else would remember that. And the men of Enedwaith hating the coming of the Númenóreans, we've suggested that it's been passed down along their family lines, but that is some hell of a grudge. I mean, we're currently in the year 2021, and, I mean, but then you can't judge it by modern standards. You just can't judge it by modern standards. The country that I live in, and indeed the country that basically everyone currently lives in, didn't exist even 2,000 years ago, bar a few exceptions. So to say that the people of Enedwaith nearly 4,000 years later still harbour such a grudge is a bit of a stretch, but it is a stretch that we've taken. I don't really want to build anything until we can get that port, and Badadvin can only hold out for one more turn, so we will just let them rise up, but they will rise up, do not worry about that. We can be almost certain of that. And then Londere is our only reclamation point south of the river, and we're going to need everything we can get for that. So if we can get another Ambaxtor unit in, actually, that would be helpful. And then, with whatever is left, we will try for the port in Londangren. But then, as I say, I think roads would probably do more. Let's find out. Trade at the minute is 93, and that's all you've got. That would give us... Trade would go up to 101. It's basically nothing. Trade would go up to 101. Either one is almost the same. But given the cheap cost of the dirt paths and the fact that it has military bonuses as well, I think we should go for that. The real fun, of course, with Enedwaith will begin once someone decides they do not like our existence, and that could be one of many people. We border, in essence, Gondor, Isengard, Dunland, Bree, and, worst of all, possibly the High Elves. And remember that no one around us particularly likes or dislikes us. Now, the benefit of that is it means you can actually ally with people, as you've seen. Dunland tried to ally with me, despite the fact that our victory conditions require us to defeat Dunland. But they don't know that. And they're going to be quite shocked when they find that out. But we have got one more place that we can take, which is south of Londangren, the castle down there. We can capture that before we hit Londere. Londere has a sizable garrison, and we do not want to fall foul, really, of it. But we won't need to fall foul of it, because we can just wait and attack them when we're good and ready. Right, you three are our only javelin forces. There are a couple of huntsman units, aren't there? So We don't really want to give them the open field. We want to try and close in. But pull to there, first of all. Because if we try and give them the open field, they'll beat us. They have better ranged options than us here today. So we need to try and trap their melee forces in, would be my suggestion. The Fowler Warriors can go on the right-hand side there. We have got the Dovesheath Foresters, but we've only got 19 Key-Fi Huntsmen now. So, well, you guys can go nice and wide, actually. Go wide, and then we'll move you like that. And then that just leaves the Elders, who we will pull back and allow them to chant. Right, into positions, into positions, into positions. Jolly good. Right, now that you're all set and ready, let's move the line forward before the archers start shooting at us. Javelins go up behind. And Elders, actually, you can go there. Oh, that was something. Something about the Elders. I'm reliably informed by both Lynx and Hummingbird that the battalion of Dovesheath Elders and Dovesheath Foresters both have male and female warriors in amongst their numbers. So they are not purely male any longer. So the female voice lines could probably stay, to be honest, because they do make some sense. Their privateer cavalry, interestingly, is pulling back. Oh, even the Ambaxter are getting stuck in. Oh, and speaking of the changes, there's the first example. The Mohaini's symbol is 2 crossed axes, and there it is for all to see on the shield. Something that someone suggested and is entirely possible is we could add a secondary banner carrier to every single unit that carries that clan's flag. I think that is actually a really, really good idea. I like them on the shields, but I think having a banner carrier that also carries those separate flags is cool. But I can already guess that that will probably be met with some reluctance on the part of our chief unit creator. The Tauta have been hit by the privateer cavalry, and they have over there, but the Fowland Border Guards are the best unit to be hit by cavalry, because they are nicely set to deal with cavalry, as they are spearmen. Fowland Border Guards. Fowland Border Guards have their symbol as well. As you can see, a sword atop a simple hill, representing the sword of Hert and the region of Hertshire. Oh dear, those sellswords have punched through, haven't they? Not much that we can do, really, but you can go for those cavalry. Oh, the Ambaxtoi have punched right through that line. We've got all the fishermen, though, who can surround our enemy when the time comes. So you push in there. Let's use up all these javelins. You've used yours, so come and get involved. And Woodland Hunters fleeing over there. Woodland Hunters fleeing through the gate. All good places to flee, but it won't save them when the time comes. Right, move forward. Ah, bandits. Come and hit the other bandits. We need you to hit the sellswords. You've got that cavalry tied up. Those bandits are coming for you, but they'll run when they get there. Oh, no, we've arrived just as a Mordag fisherman gets his head cut off. But reinforcements arrive as more Mordag come through. Nice to see. Javelins, you move around. Oh, we never got the Fowland Warriors involved.
If we continue like this, we will smash the...
Those are the ones we definitely wanted to get involved, to be honest. Oh, not only did we not get them involved, they're miles away. I'm going to go and have a look at them. I can show you what they look like. They look exactly the same as the Border Guard, except they have a two-handed weapon. And again, now they do start with 1 armor, and as you can see, they have a sort of chest plate thing. No, they don't. They have straps over their chest, but so do the Border Guard, don't they? No, so that's their 1 armor. 2 leather straps that go over their chest. Well, it'll do. It might stop a sword blow. You might get lucky. Yeah, you're coming around the flank. And the warriors come up through the centre there. The Border Guard's still taking on those cavalry. Cavalry not knowing whether they want to properly charge or just say to hell with it. Privateer cavalry fleeing. The sellswords are low. Oh, the Mordags are going to get right in at the back. Ah, the sellswords have run. The cavalry has run. Woodland Hunters are running. Alright, stop with the chanting. The army will pull back. But the archers will move forward. Come out of this mode. Move forward. They will probably keep running at us and then running away the minute they get near us. Until inevitably and eventually we win the game. Although we should probably just push through because we're losing troops to towers now. Hit those. Every time they die, though, the towers stop. There we are. The woodland hunters come back. Go on, go through the gate. We're just losing troops to the towers now. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. We don't have a major enemy yet. And it ends. There we go. 487. Probably a few more than we would have really liked, but such is life. 173, 172. Mordag fishermen with the javelin fire. 169 Dovesheath foresters, but they're a late game archer. That's not unsurprising. 123 Fowden border guards. The border guards are proving to be one of our finer units, despite the fact that they don't wear armour. Do note that Enedwaith don't have any visual armour upgrades. I will keep plugging away at Hummingbird and requesting that they do get visual armour upgrades, because from my point of view, regardless of how unique a unit might look, I think most people would rather that it upgrades its visuals when it is upgraded at a blacksmith. And even if it might upgrade to a simpler look, it is still preferred to have your units visually enhanced. Particularly for the low tier units, and particularly for a unit such as the Fowlen, who don't have any armour at all. I think they would probably wear armour if they could. But at the moment, no one has visual armour upgrades, if I'm not mistaken. Possibly the late game units do, maybe. Then it might make them then look like the fully elite late game armies of Enedwaith, but I don't think so at the moment. Right, Barad Vin, can you train anyone? Again, it's just Fowlen border guards because they come from the farms. 2 turns, they'll be ready. So we'll leave a unit of them behind. Oh, look, there you go. He's already good to go. So you're going to stay behind. Build me some towers on your way out.
Will keep vigil over the lands.
The rebels won't attack us till... The rebels can leave the cities, but not till about turn 38-ish. Something around there. So we're not bothered about them coming just yet. But we can hopefully get through to the Druathior.
Yes, my lord.
Druithior, sorry. Yeah, hopefully no one's taken that. We'll send the diplomat back to scout.
Yes, my lord.
Where is Annulond? There it is. Trade rights. Go on. Yes, and I'll give you my map information, and you'll have to pay me 600 for it. That should be good to go. Yes.
An honour and a pleasure. Farewell.
Relations improved, and we've got 750 coins. Fantastic. That means Londangren's building its road.
Yes.
That's handy. That should be done by the time we get there. 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th, that should make that take much... Oh, no, we don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. There's no ports, are there? Of course.
Yes, my lord.
Head into the ship, and we'll sail you down there much quicker. But the army there will need to walk. So we'll take all of those by... Oh, will we need those to take that to the castle? Well, we might as well send them anyway. They're not giving us any free upkeep at the moment. They are costing us, so let us make them... Let us have them cost us whilst they are on manoeuvres in the south, defending our borders. Towers are greatly required, though. Dunland have requested an alliance, but that doesn't stop them just deciding to attack us at any moment. And our border with them is not very well protected. I'm yawning, I'm terribly sorry. Donach tries to join us, but we don't want that. I don't... Alkford, actually, that is a good place to get Hunters Guild. Take Argond and we'll get 2,000 gold coins. Captain Aothagan, Aothagan maybe? You could probably go south on your own, actually, because with the benefit of the boat, we don't even need Londair. Just suddenly thought, Argond is right there. There's no need to go through Londair and then Suduri. We can just skip across and get it. So I think we will do that. So what is best for building, though? We've got 2,300 will be available to us in a few moments. You get free upkeep because castles give free upkeep as a standard. You're building us roads, so you can't do anything there anyway. Outford, what have you got on the carpenters? Oh, you haven't even got a carpenter's. Give us a carpenter's hut there. Battered bin, the same. Yeah, we've got 2 carpenter's huts, and that should do us. So we don't want to spend anything. Go and scout it out, see what you can see.
My lord.
You're coming back.
Without question.
Nanny Falgay has fallen to Gondor. Druathior is still rebel. You can take a Fowlen border guard. Oh, you can't do anything because you can't train any troops yet. You haven't got a town hall or a stone circle, it's called, for Enedwaith. In 2 turns, they would have the Wakani. We could supplement them with both of those and then not build those buildings. But then that'll take another 2 turns because we have terrible building here. But I think that's probably a better call. The buildings can wait, really. We want to get both of these quickly. This is a clear indication. Provided you're relatively peaceful in the starting turns with Enedwaith, there isn't too much of a threat financially. You're not constantly up against it. Now, I've managed to do that by allying with Isengard to stave off their aggressive lust. But it will not last forever, as I say. As soon as we're forced to attack someone, it will be Dundon that we go for. Oh, Bree's leader is dead. That's insane. How has he died so quick? Oh, bugger. We were just like 1 turn too late. Isengard now completely surround us. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. Tharagrondos might still be rebel, but we're not going all the way down there.
Yes, my lord.
And there is Argond, the greatest and largest castle in the region, with a thumpingly terrible garrison. That's fantastic. Right, you guys head back to the fort then. Similarly, you guys head to that fort. There are 3 of them, so a 4th would be alright. Ah, but then the 4th can be you. There we are. You go to that fort, and then that other one will be free when it comes out. 1,620. Baradvin didn't get its building. But if you've got something that will cost about 500-ish... Oh, your leather tanner, probably, actually. You should be able to build that and the carpenter's hut in Baradvin. There weren't really any questions regarding Enedwaith, but if you do have any questions, of course, at all about Enedwaith or version 5 in general, either please do post them in the comment section down below, or wait until this coming Saturday, 11 o'clock in the morning. I will live stream the 3rd Enedwaith episode. It'll be about a couple of hours long, which is why this one's slightly shorter. A change has occurred in Dorwinion. The Avari have re-returned after the sacking of Mornethel over 2,000 years ago, and will take up arms and fight in the name of Dorwinion. The Avarin War Council will reorganise the Avari Home Guard into cohorts of skillful warriors to serve the Vintner Court. The Order of Shadows, the Avari's secretive scouting force, has also stepped forth and pledged their support. Dorwinion's armies will be significantly improved. Osgiliath under attack. Ardenaim and Harad have allied. Oh, that was a change from version 5. Yeah, the Ardenaim and Harad were set to be neutral from the start instead of allied, so that they could potentially attack each other. But it rarely happens. Oh, we don't have any money. It rarely ever happens. They don't usually attack each other. Our buildings are all building, though, which is nice. And Londangren's about to finish its roads. We'll have 1,200 after that. Can't really get anything with that, but Grain Exchange wouldn't say no to. And we'll build a watchtower when we can.
My lord.
Do we want to try and ship those troops up to Argond now? No, because it's a pathetic garrison, and Dundon aren't attacking us yet. Let's see what Niall does. Whether he tries to attack us and push us off of the castle. I mean, I can't imagine that he will, but maybe. Maybe. Have to wait and see. I don't think he will, though. I don't think he will. And Dundon will be at war with Bree, and that will be taking up a lot more of their thought. You're coming for another alliance? Yeah, no, I'm not giving you an alliance. I tell you what, I'll give you an alliance if you give me an obscene number of regions. I'll take Tharbad, absolutely noodly. I'd ally you for Tharbad, because I'd happily break you after that. Koloniak is north of the river. Vile, Dunyard, and Dunrack are all south. Well, we'll just go for Tharbad for now.
Never. This meeting was disappointing.
Never! You fools, Dunland, you sign your names on your very own death warrants.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, and I'm getting this slightly wrong. The castle's down here.
Without question.
It's down there even further afield.
Journey
Outford got its carpenter's hut. Nice, welcome. You get a market up, you get communal farming, a leather tanner. Oh, that gives us the Tauta. We already get them, don't we? Yeah, we do, because of the seat of the Mochaini. That does mean that, rather unfortunately, if you build in the clan seats of each of the clans, you'll be able to train units extra quick. So in Gerrit, for example, we get both of those units available to us, but we also have the land clearance, which also gives us foul and border guards, which means those border guards retrain in 2 turns, as you can see. Whereas somewhere in Outford, for example, it's 6 turns until the next one is available. If we try to recruit those, it's 9. So they go from 9 to 2 turns by simply having 2 available. But then that's, I don't see that as a problem. That's their clan seat. That's where they would come from. It gives you core recruitment hubs, which I think is useful.
This tower will
I think we're going to keep him out for a while to build some towers, just so that our borders are secured.
We can go no further,
We
my
do
lord.
not want to be attacked in the back. Alkford is the one that needs something to be queued, isn't it? Go with the leather tanner, what the hey. And once you've done, build your leather tanner as well, because it does give 40 gold. We can besiege Argonne for 3 turns, so we just will do. There's no point pulling these out of the forts until we need them. And Londe has a huge garrison. It is going to take a lot of forces. So Argond is just a Dunedain castle. There's nothing really special to show you about the Castle of Argond, so we shan't attack it. If they wish to rise up and attack us in 2 turns, which they probably will do, then so be it. Let's let them. But we won't attack them. We won't force their hand. I get to have dinner after I've recorded this, and I say get to have dinner, not because Jessica doesn't feed me, or I say that like she cooks all the food, she doesn't. We split all the household chores. But Jessica is not here today, so I'm able to have whatever I want for dinner, and in true student style, even though I'm not a student and haven't been for about 7 years now, I'm going to have cereal for dinner. Because cereal is the absolutely underrated best dinner. And do not let your parents tell you that you can't have cereal for dinner when you are an adult, and they tell you it's silly and no one would have cereal for dinner, and you look them square in the eyes and you say, I'm an adult, and if I want to have cereal for dinner, I'm going to damn well have cereal for dinner. Which is what I used to have to do for my mother when I lived with her in her house. But I don't anymore, Mum. I live in my own house now, and I'm going to have cereal for dinner. Nan would be proud. Nan was always giving me cereal for dinner.
We can go no
Anyway, let's see what Isengard's got. In the Castle of Boulogne, there it is. Almost nothing at all. How do you feel about just trading map information for map information? Yeah, I'll pay you 100 gold for 3 turns for that. Oh, I thought it just broke our alliance then. I was very, very worried. Alright then. Skothaith, you are to head north and meet with those uppity buggers in the north that sit in their haven caring naught for the troubles of those lowly folks that reside on the borders of their lands. Long has Enedwaith played host, played neighbour to the nation of Linden. And what have the elves ever done for us? Nothing but bring down their wars on our people. We had no say in the war of the elves and Sauron, and the elves' greed and their desire to show some skill in praise of someone, in praise of something, brought down Sauron's wrath in the Second Age. We remember the Great Deforestation, of course, and the Númenóreans will pay a price in blood for what they've done to the land that we call home. But let us not forget what the elves brought down upon Enedwaith themselves. Never forget. The elves are not our allies.
honor.
And we will
This
do well to
tower will
remember
keep
that.
vigil over the lands.
Right, we'll take a tower on the edge there as well. And then we'll just go around with him just building towers on the edges. We don't lose a massive amount of money by having him out. Because we make good money at the moment. And we're getting some economic buildings up and running, which is nice to see. All the roads are going up. That is very good. You can get a leather tanner as well. I'll definitely take a leather tanner. And I would love a port. I would love ports. Ports across the whole line. Particularly when we start getting trade rights with the people I've just bad-mouthed. The ports will become very handy. Alright, here we go. We're about to be attacked by a load of bandits. So brace yourselves. They're not going to go down without a fight. They will not go quietly into the night. They will instead help us by digging their own graves outside the very walls of the castle they have called home. Every step they take into the sodden ground before the gate is 1 inch less that we have to dig of the mound that we shall dig to bury them en masse as the traitors that they are. There will be no burial rites. There will be no mark to denote where their bodies lie. A pit will be dug, and then shall be covered, and then atop that pit will be built the road into Argond itself. And then every traveller that comes into this place will walk over the bones of those fools who thought they could hold it from Enedwaith.
Attack!
Melmodoc. Spare none. Slay them all. Main reason why we want the Castle of Argond is because upon capturing this little quaint castle, we get a cavalry bodyguard general, which will help us massively. We need to do something fairly similar, but there's even worse troops up against us this time. But they don't have any archers, so we don't have to worry about moving forwards. So what we'll do instead is make sure that we're nowhere near the walls. 2 arch units can group together and run over here. Javelin and skirmishing units will come just in front of that line there. And then we'll just take all of you in a defensive position, I suppose. And you can come in front of them just about there-ish. Yep. Let's do it. Into positions. This is the Castle of Argond. This is what a Dunedain castle looks like. You may recall, of course, I've shown these castles thousands of times now on the channel, but this is actually from the Teutonic Order expansion for Medieval 2. Well, it's not called the Teutonic Order, is it? But this castle comes from one of the expansion packs. DLC, you'd call it now. It's interesting how DLC now just means expansion pack, because we all now essentially download our games. And so an expansion is technically downloadable content, but I don't really remember expansion really like being phased out. It just seemed like we all woke up one day and suddenly the word expansion was no longer in our lexicon and we were all calling it DLC. Alright, front line, you can go in defense. War chanters, you're out on the edge, so you might as well chant. They will not like that javelin fire, these bandits. I really like the bandit model. It's one of my favourite models. I know it's so basic, but I think it just looks really good. Simple and yet very effective. Oh, they're getting a charge up. The foul and border guards stand ready, though. Look at those tense muscles in the back. Oh, 2 of the guys fell in that charge, though. Come on, guys, you've got giant shields. Use them. Alright, javelins, you've still got an awful lot to give, so let's get you around the sides. Don't fight them. No, they didn't. Good. Right, 81 of you. Come and stand like that. 202 of you. Let's come out times 6. Come and stand like that. You can just throw javelins. Oh, you might as well just charge in. Oh, you can just charge in. You haven't got any javelins. Who's this here? Privateer Axeman. Don't fire at will. Target who I tell you to target and no one else. Are you getting ready to throw javelins at them? Yes, nice. Well done. Well done. And you round this side. Hit those bandits in the back. Hit those bandits in the back. Thank you.
Only half
nice.
the enemy force remains.
And then we get routing. The Privateer Axemen have pulled out, which means they're a fair game for our javelins and our archers. You can charge into those there because the javs have actually run out of ammunition. Hit those Privateer Axemen with javelins. Nice.
The enemy general band. If we
It's over.
continue like this,
It's over.
behold,
Yes, there it
our
goes.
all
167,
victory we have
688.
won here
Bandits
today.
look cool, but they're not really very good. Mordag Fishermen, 177 once again, taking the top spot. 148 Fowland Warriors. Oh, well done, Melmodoc. Well done indeed, sir. Proving his strength. The only thing we've not yet seen, and we won't see for some time, is Enedwaith's actual... Enedwaith. I always say it wrong. Enedwaith's actual bodyguard unit. They are called Clan Heralds, and they are, again, javelin units. And once they finish with their javelins, I believe they are two-handed swordmen. So they're quite a powerful unit, but they are quite small in size as well.
Honorable, glorious victory.
And Argond
A
falls.
most noble conquest.
Oh, Alfred can get a master. Oh, go on then. Yes, please. That's fantastic. The Failani ride out. Far away Argond once again can count the Clan Moot as its friend. Taken by a crafty group of bandits decades ago, the Failani abandoned it to them, reasoning that the castle was not worth an extensive siege and loss of life. After all, they lead a nomadic life on the northern plains and had little need for the castle and little ties to it, for they only migrated from their original homeland in the Gap of Rohan 300 years ago, during the Era of Wolf. This abandonment of their clan seat added to the accusations by other clans that they were not a true clan and were mongrels of mixed blood. As such, they are overjoyed to have it back, and their herders stand tall, for with their armed service they have shown they are as much of a clansman as any, and have as much love for our land as even the eldest clans. Furthermore, with access to their workshops, they are once again able to produce the feared and famed war wagons that they gifted to the Clan Moot long ago in gratitude for their formal seat upon it. Their chieftain, Coruion, even now rides upon one, for he is glad to aid us now that we have proven our own worth and leadership by leading the reclamation of their home. With these war wagons, we shall show the world that they should not be so quick to dismiss us. And there he is, Caruion, with Filani war wagons as his entourage. We can get Saraline Mercs as well, thus bolstering the army size. Righty ho 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 ho, and we get both the Filani units straight away from the seat. Even though the war wagons are, well, most of the technically late game units for Enedwaith do not come until you have united all of the clans. So you do have a scripted check in order to get your absolute late game units. London Great Exchange. Right, Elk Food. How much will your mines give us? Not really very much. It's not really worth it, is it? 1,900. I think what I'd like to do is, yeah, once get those ports ready to go. You could give us paths though. It's always nice to have paths. So we'll get the paths there. Paladin's building paths, and then Leather Tanner and port. So we'll try and get those ports up. Argond then, in the meantime, while the ports are building, get a carpenter's hut for now. Alright, and the army. One person is going to hang back. I think in this instance I'm going to hold Caruion back to build some watchtowers here first. And we'll send the rest of the army in. This time we don't get Foul and Border Guards because there is not land clearance here. And this army is now massively depleted. But we will leave the Border Guards behind. Oh dear, they do not like us. Why do you hate me so much? Cultural unrest, of course. No, that's going to abandon us if we do that. So some of you are going to have to go back to that castle. We'll take a unit of Mordag. Although there isn't a fishery here, is there? No, we won't get free upkeep on the Mordag.
Yes, my lord.
But something needs to go back, and the rest of you won't give us any free upkeep at all. We'll send back the 2 Mordag units. We'll just have to train more.
Your orders, my lord.
And whilst it... Oh, hang on. That's bizarre. Without him in there, it actually likes us, which means that he has traits that make him a terrible governor. Oh, he's got terrible acumen. The people have stopped burning this man's belongings when he pops to the shop. I shouldn't laugh because I wrote that message, but it does make me chuckle. Oh, Cardland proper, we've met the forces of Bree. Now, Breeland and Dunland, I am sure, are at war with one another. Yes, they are. So what we will do is wade into this 3-way endeavour with our diplomat. Where are you, Scottythe?
Yes,
oh, you're all the way down there. We'll just cheat move him. Get that done early doors. Show cursor stat. Move character Scottythe. 164 355. Bish bash bosh. He's in the northern side. You know you want it. Go on. Yes, yes, Gret. And what about a trading 180 down? Nah, got it. I'm not attacking Dunland just for map information. Are you off your rocker, son? Someone check that man into an institution somewhere, because he's quite clearly lost his mind. Right, of the army, you can be retrained, you can be retrained, you can be retrained, you can be retrained. Ah, the Dovesheath Elders can't, actually, but everything else can be retrained in Outford. So we'll get that army home. What's the quickest way? On the roads. Take us down to there. Get that army home, get them retrained in Elkford, and then they can link up with the reinforces. Reinforces? That's not how you call them. Reinforcements. And, oh, Gallicat's waking up. And then we can attack Londale. The great struggle for Londale will come. Oh, look, no one has Cor Willishar. Garithlin could be taken. No, Cor Willishar's up here. Garithlin is this one. The town of 3 rivers. Caras Nernaled. Which means town of 3 rivers. Badum badum. Still got it, Galu. Is it actually still called that, or did we rename it? I'm just going to cheat just to check for my own vanity. Caras Nernaled. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that's nice. That's pleasing. That's pleasing to me. Right, so Dunland are in a bit of an odd position now, because not only are we allied to their enemy, but we're allied to their ally as well. And not only their ally, but they're significantly more powerful overlords. So do they risk raising the ire of their overlords by attacking us? Or do they continue to allow their hated enemies to be allied to their nearest neighbour? We are really putting them in a difficult position, and I like it. I like it a great deal. It goes without saying, or it doesn't go without saying, so I'm going to say it. Enedwaith no longer has any forced war scripts. Even for the AI, we did away with them. So there is a risk, it's very minor, but there is a risk that Enedwaith might stay neutral for the entire game, but it's very, very unlikely. But they do stay neutral for quite a while, but there are no more forced war at all. So if you're playing as Enedwaith, you'll never be forced to go to war with anyone, although it never affected the player anyway. It was always AI only. I don't actually think we need that many now. We just didn't want him in there because they don't like him. Oh, we don't have enough to build a watchtower. Are you insane? It's because the watchtower costs 20 gold, doesn't it? Right, you're getting your roads up. Nice. Londangren, we're not there yet. Baradrim, we're not there yet. And Argond, you're getting the carpenter's hut so that we get the cheaper port. Brings it down by 600 gold coins. That is a huge saving. Particularly given that that building only costs 900. That means it's made its money back in a single building, almost. Or 2/3 of its money back in a single building. That's fantastic. Fan-dabby-dubby-dozy. I'm happy with that. I'm looking forward to live streaming Enedwaith on at the weekend. I'm eager to hear all of your thoughts about Enedwaith. I'm also, if I'm honest, quite eager for Anduin to end so that I can play as a nation that is not one of the Wildmen, because I think at the moment the channel is somewhat saturated with Wildmen, and we could do with playing some noble men, although that's not what they're called. Northmen, Dunedain, evil men. Diplomatic information: the Ardenaim are at war with Gondor. The Dorwinrim are at war with the men of Rhûn, and the Kingdom of Dale announces its aggression against Dol Guldur. No surprises there. Melmadoc, head back. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Those Dovesheath Elders, we're just going to get rid of them. No, their upkeep is 10. We'll chuck them in a fort and forget about them until we take back Erin Vaughan. But we won't need them until then. Everyone else should hopefully be able to be retrained when we get there. Kuruion?
Your orders, my lord.
Just get me those watchtowers and then we'll get you down into the fight. Dunland, we may not be at war, but I don't recall giving you the right to walk freely about the lands of Enedwaith, so kindly remove Captain Niall before I am forced to commit some form of atrocity against him. I'd really like land clearance here so that we get the free upkeep on the Foul and Border Guards, because it requires 25% culture and we've already got 35. We can't get the Mordag, as I say, until we get the barracks. We can't get the barracks until... Oh no, you just can't get... If you can't build a fishery, you just can't build the Mordag. That's interesting, because essentially that just means they're restricted to the coastlines. And not even just the coastlines, but anywhere where there is a fishing resource.
Yes.
Alright, you finished talking to them. Let's pop... Well, we can talk to the High Elves and the Dunedain if we go this way, so let's go this way.
I shall continue tomorrow.
Although this is the Castle of Coloniac, we're about to pass it, and that's held by Dunland, we know that already. We're going to be able to sweep the rug from underneath Dunland's feet. But, as I say, we're not doing it until we've got a Londair, bare minimum. But we need Dunland to unite all the clans. Of course, the greatest hope is if we can try to become really powerful, build lots of troops, capture lots of rebel regions and upgrade them, build them up, then Isengard might take a look at Dunland and I, both allied to it, and think, actually, I'm going to stay with Enedwaith because we are the stronger nation. That is a real prospect, but we've got to be a powerful nation for them to even consider it. At the moment, we are not that, so we need to improve on that. But the watchtower building is coming together nicely, and the army returns. Fantastic. We can't retrain the Ambaxtoy. They've got 4 more turns. We won't be here for 4 turns. No way. Oh, we get Druidine Hunters just straight. Oh, do they come from the Master Hunters Guild? Yes, they do. Oh, interesting. The Master Hunters Guild has the same visual as the barracks. It's disappointing, but that's a really, really rare building. You only have that in one place. Right, we need troops for... We definitely need archers, and we'll take everything. Just give me everything, and that will be the army that takes on our great foe. You can head off into the fort. And that Foul and Border Guard, are you being retrained? No, you're the one that was already trained. You head into there as well. So we'll get free upkeep on both of those. At least brings down the upkeep a touch. You've moved, Kuruion.
Yes, my lord.
You are moving too. You can build us a tower over there as well. But then they're only just now leaving our lands. This is very
Yes, my
disappointing.
Without
Bugger off,
question.
German. Right, Fenestrenin is there. Fenestrenin is just over there, so we'll head over there. One question I did see, which is totally unrelated to this video, but I'm going to answer anyway, just to put it all in your consciousness again, if you're in the Discord, is Age of Empires 2 had a new DLC release yesterday, or 2 days ago by the time you watch this. And someone said, what do I think about it? And I think it is good. It's come with a few bugs, unfortunately, which will need to be patched out. I'm sure anyone who's into the Age of Empires scene will by now know that the Lithuanians are ridiculously bugged, and they can have cavalry with essentially infinite attack, depending on how many times you can be bothered to ungarrison your relic.
Your orders, my lord.
But the changes to the features that the new factions use, or the aspects, not aspects, the traits of the new factions are so unique from anything else in Age of Empires 2 that they do really do well in shaking up the way that a faction plays the game. So they've done that very well. They feel like two completely unique factions, and that is to be commended. I really do think it is. It's nice that they actually play differently. It doesn't just feel like, here's 4 more factions that are basically all the same. They've always done well to ensure that new factions feel new. They have a unique gameplay mechanic. That's the word I'm looking for. If you could train Border Guard... Oh, you still can't train anything because you haven't got this... No. And they currently aren't free because we don't have any free upkeep anyway. But that said...
Your orders, my lord.
I would also submit that whilst they do very well to make the new factions feel unique, the new factions, the thing that makes them unique is just a bit sort of I wouldn't say it's meh, I wouldn't go that far, I'm not going to add the M, but just say it's just a bit they don't blow me away. I prefer the Sicilians, even though the universal opinion is that the Burgundians are much better. But I prefer the Sicilians, but... it's nice to have a DLC for a game so old. But if you have played Age of Empires 3, then basically nothing about the new factions is new to you in any way at all.
You hold us at very well.
We've got trade rights and map info.
I do not believe
320 gold. I've got 2019. Go on then, I'm feeling generous. I know many of you would never pay for map info, but I really like map info. It just appeases me. Herald built dirt paths and is now not building anything. But we don't... That's not the end of the world because we want those ports up and running in Barradvin and Londangren. So we'll hold on for those. Oh, we've reached the Shire. And we got a Keefi Huntsman unit, our capital. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Oh, there's the bodyguard unit, the Clad Heralds. Yeah. Right, our army now musters and is being trained. The 3 archers are now all ready and set to go. You don't get free upkeep in the city, but then we might as well move you out anyway. They probably could have been retrained for armour, actually, now I think about it. Don't really need armour on archers, though. That's not the end of the world. Oh, we make a lot of money all of a sudden.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, can you train me up there? Oh, sell swords and bandits. Oh. Bandits, I shouldn't be getting excited at bandits, but I just really like bandits. Now, I'm probably going to end the episode there, but before I do, we will read... have we read this one? Have we read the Bersih? No, I don't think so. No, I don't believe we read that one. We read the Mokaini one, didn't we? Ah, no. We read the Clan Moot. All right. Well, we'll start with the Bersih then. So, seat of the Bersih. This clan seat is the ancestral home of the Bersih clan. Although their southern seat and settled nature may lead one to conclude they are a young clan, they are in fact one of the eldest. It is said they survived the great logging as they betrayed their own kin. That sounds like going to the toilet, doesn't it? As they betrayed their own kin and traded lumber for the knowledge of shipbuilding, which allowed them to develop the feared dragon boats. Soon they realized, however, that they were being used by Numenor and aided the clans in leading a rebellion by mounting swift naval attacks. This courage redeemed them in their kin's eyes, and they reclaimed their seat on the moot, although some have distrusted them ever since. Since then, they have plied their way as traders and mercenaries, cultivating ties with Gondor, the Druidine, and even far-off Lindon and Ered Luin, while also offering their naval might to the moot when it requires it. Their name appropriately has a dual meaning, reflecting their heritage as traders and sea warriors, translating as both bargain and dragon. and it is this sea dragon that acts as their emblem. Once secured, this clan seat can muster the Bersih. So there we are. Now this bit about the rebellion against Numenor is one of those wonderful little areas where we can tinker with the lore as much as we want, because Tolkien doesn't really say why Numenor just sort of abandoned Londare and this area, because Londare is I think, if I'm not mistaken, the oldest Numenorian colony in Middle-earth, but it's also the colony that was abandoned first. Its name literally means New Haven, denoting it was the first. Now, of course, Tharbad and Londare were both trashed completely with the sinking of Numenor and the flooding of the Gwathlo, which destroyed much of this area. Although I think Tharbad might have been flooded later, actually. But anyway, the moral of the story is we don't really know why Londare was abandoned, and Tolkien doesn't go into great detail about whether or not it was natural disaster, the Numenorians just took everything they needed so they buggered off, or whether the peoples of the land rose up and became so infuriating or even successfully beat them. Now, if memory serves, I think he does mention that there were rebellions from the locals and the Numenorians. I could be entirely making this up, but I feel like there is a passage that does state that there were uprisings and rebellions against Numenor, but nothing that ever beat them, but just enough to make them think they didn't need to be here anymore. And I think that is one of the few things that we have about it. I'd need to read Unfinished Tales, because I'm sure the story of the Ship King of Numenor, I'm sure he's called Anarion. No, that's the son of Isildur. That's the brother of Isildur. Oh, I can't remember his name. Anyway, in Unfinished Tales, there is a story about Numenor's most famous ship king. And I'm sure in that passage it tells of uprisings against Londare. But I don't think we really know the full, concrete reason why Londare fell. So we are able to tinker with the lore there if we wish. But anyway, that concludes episode number 2. So I do hope you've enjoyed seeing this little outing as we've reclaimed more clans. Unfortunately, we haven't seen Curuion in battle, so you won't get to see the Failani war wagons just yet. I'm not very good with chariots, though, so I wouldn't expect miracles, but you'll be able to see them. But for now, then, that concludes this episode. And in the very next one, as I say, it'll be live streamed this coming Saturday. This video was recorded on the 27th of January 2021, and it went live on the 28th of January 2021. And the live stream, therefore, will be on the 30th of January 2021, I believe. That should be this coming Saturday. Let me just confirm it. One moment. Yes, it will be this Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. For me, my time, GMT. So until then, everyone, Nevair Neden Penimad Melonin, and farewell.